If you've ever wondered why some relationships thrive effortlessly while others fall apart despite good intentions, you're not alone. Dating and relationships are both deeply rewarding and incredibly complex. But with the right mindset and skills, anyone can build meaningful, lasting connections. Today, you'll learn how to date confidently, communicate clearly, and create relationships that actually work. Welcome to HowExpert Tip of the Day, where we bring you real-world tips from our how-to guides on all topics from A to Z. If you want to learn even more in-depth strategies, examples, and techniques on this topic, check out HowExpert Guide to Dating and Relationships, available at Amazon, Audible, Barnes & Amp, Noble, Google, Kobo, Apple, Spotify, and all major bookstores as an ebook, paperback, hardback, and audiobook. Dating and relationships aren't about being perfect. They're about understanding yourself, respecting others, and building trust one step at a time. Today's video will give you a framework to improve your dating life, strengthen your relationships, and avoid the mistakes that keep many people stuck in negative cycles. Step number 1. Know yourself before you date. Great relationships start with self-awareness. Before you bring someone else into your life romantically, take time to understand your own values, goals, emotional triggers, and non-negotiables. Self-knowledge makes dating easier because you know what you want and what you don't. For example, if you value career ambition or a lifestyle centered around travel, those needs matter. Recognizing them early prevents you from forcing a relationship that isn't aligned. When you understand yourself, you choose partners more intentionally and avoid relationships built on fantasy instead of compatibility. A healthy relationship begins with a healthy you. Step number 2. Lead with confidence and authenticity. Confidence isn't about being flashy or perfect. It's about being comfortable in your own skin. The most attractive people are the ones who show up as themselves, without trying too hard to impress. Authenticity builds trust quickly, and it sends the message, I'm real, and you can be real with me too. Imagine going on a date where you're not performing or pretending, but actually being yourself. The conversation flows, you feel relaxed, and your date senses your confidence. That's authenticity at work. Trying to be someone you're not may work short-term, but it always breaks down later. Be honest from the start. It's the foundation of every strong relationship. Step number 3. Improve your communication skills. Communication is the heartbeat of every relationship. It's not just about talking, it's about listening, asking thoughtful questions, expressing needs, and understanding your partner's perspective. For instance, instead of saying, you never pay attention, try something more constructive like, I feel unheard when we talk about important things, and I'd love if we could slow down and listen to each other more. That shift turns blame into collaboration. Good communication prevents misunderstandings, resolves conflicts, and deepens emotional intimacy. Learn to speak clearly, listen actively, and respond with empathy. Your relationships will change dramatically. Step number 4. Learn to recognize red flags and green flags. Dating becomes much easier when you can spot red flags early. These include behaviors like poor communication, disrespect, inconsistency, jealousy or control, emotional immaturity. If someone repeatedly makes you feel unseen, uncomfortable, or anxious, trust your instincts. You deserve a relationship that brings out your best self. But don't overlook green flags either. Qualities like kindness, reliability, honesty, and emotional availability. People often ignore these because they feel too normal or not exciting enough. But green flags are what long-term happiness is built on. Learn to honor both the warning signs and the promising ones. Step number 5. Build connection through shared experiences. Strong relationships grow through shared experiences, not just conversation. Whether it's trying a new restaurant, hiking, attending a class together, or cooking a meal at home, these activities strengthen your bond and deepen your connection. Shared experiences create memories, inside jokes, and emotional closeness. For example, going to a concert together doesn't just give you entertainment, it creates a moment you'll both remember and talk about for weeks. Connection grows when you spend meaningful, quality time creating life together, not just talking about it. Step number 6. Set boundaries and respect each other's needs. Healthy relationships thrive when both people feel safe being themselves. Boundaries protect your emotional well-being and help avoid resentment. Well, a boundary might be, I need time alone after work before social plans. I'm not comfortable with yelling during disagreements. I need honesty even when it's hard. Setting boundaries isn't rude, it's respectful, and a partner who values you will honor them. Boundaries also go both ways. Understanding your partner's needs and respecting their limits builds trust, mutual respect, and long-term security. Step number 7. Nurture the relationship long-term. The spark of dating is exciting, but relationships require ongoing effort to stay strong. Nurturing your connection means continuing to communicate, show appreciation, resolve conflicts, and grow together. For example, plan small surprises, have deep conversations regularly, and keep learning about each other, because people evolve over time. Even something as simple as a handwritten note or an unexpected compliment can remind your partner how much they matter. Long-term relationships succeed when both people choose love intentionally, day after day. Here's a simple example of what a great first date might look like. You choose an activity where conversation can flow naturally. Maybe a cozy cafe, a park walk, or a relaxed restaurant. You arrive feeling calm, comfortable, and open-hearted. You ask thoughtful questions, listen actively, and share stories without oversharing. You stay present, avoid your phone, and focus on genuinely connecting. At the end, you thank them for the time, express something you enjoyed, and follow up the next day with a warm message. That's a simple formula for building trust, comfort, and connection right from the start. HowExpert Tip: talk about values, not just interests. Compatibility isn't about liking the same movies or foods, it's about having aligned values. Early in dating, gently explore topics like lifestyle goals, communication preferences, conflict styles, and long-term visions. This helps you determine whether someone is truly compatible, rather than falling for temporary chemistry. Chemistry creates excitement, but shared values create stability. Healthy dating and relationships aren't about luck. They're about skills. When you know yourself, communicate clearly, recognize red and green flags, and invest in meaningful connection, you create relationships that uplift you instead of draining you. Love becomes something you build, not something you chase. Your challenge. This week, focus on one relationship skill you want to strengthen. Maybe communication, confidence, or setting boundaries. Practice it intentionally in your next conversation or interaction, and watch how it changes the way you connect with others. For even more tips, techniques, and practical examples on this topic, check out HowExpert Guide to Dating and Relationships, available at Amazon, Audible, Barnes & Amp, Noble, Google, Kobo, Apple, Spotify, and all major bookstores as an ebook, paperback, hardback, and audiobook. HowExpert publishes how-to guides on all topics from A to Z. Visit howexpert.com to learn more.